Hello and welcome to episode 20 of our Timberborn 1.0 full release playthrough with the Folktales faction here in cycle 28, day 18 on the Down the Plughole map, where last episode we built this monstrosity of a food storage area. And, you know, I think I hate it a little bit less after sleeping on it. And obviously there's still some more stuff that needs to get done over here. But it's honestly a pretty good start. Now, there's still a long way to go. And we do still have to move farming around, and we have to take care of a bunch of other stuff. But we have so many other things to do that we probably don't need to be too worried about most of this stuff. I do want to take a look at our pine resin situation. Yeah, we can get rid of some of these trees here. Oh, they're already marked for cutting. Well, somebody must have thought of that beforehand. Anyway, I'll just put a lumberjack flag there so they don't forget about it. And then we don't need to be farming trees over here because we have dedicated farming areas. So, you know, piece by piece, we'll get this all cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the forester here. I think we're going to turn this into more water storage anyhow. But for right now, this definitely needs to be just cut down, every piece of this. And they are marked, so that should be okay. We'll just let these guys chip away at it slowly as time goes by. Probably could use a few more beavers. I know we do have 12 incapacitated beavers because we've been sending them down over here to work in the explosives factory and, you know, blow stuff up in all these tunnels. So, you know, they're getting injured. They don't have to be super injured. It'd be very nice if they stopped being injured, but I don't think I can just do that by asking. So we can add some more beavers. And we did build this thing a couple episodes ago. Or, I guess, that's only 2 episodes. That counts as a couple. And from what I did see on some of the very early comments on that episode, people seem to like this, or at least tolerate it, so that's good. We're going to be putting more of these in, probably not today, because I do want to try and expand, logically speaking, so I probably I'm just going to put in another regular lodge right here, just to get a few more beavers. I know we do have 22 kits right now, so that should be it should be alright as they start growing up. Staggering these is kind of difficult. But the main thing I wanted to do today was to get platforms popped in over here. And, you know, I had originally thought, first of all, are they, no, they're not. I was going to say if they're actually putting these down, we might want to hit pause. That one has, yeah, it's almost done. I was just going to make these regular platforms and not worry about it. But then I was looking at some other comments on previous videos and things. And somebody said, you know what, you should put some water wheels down here to make some power. And my initial thought was, well, why would I want to do that when I've already got this, which is capable of making a pretty healthy amount all by itself? But then I thought, you know what? What's our motto here? Well, we have many mottos, but among them, there's no rule that says the dog can't play basketball. So there's no rule that says we can't put in water wheels. We just have to be able to get stuff on top of them. So, to judge whether or not this will even be possible, why don't we just really quick here take these out, pop this in here. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be enough clearance, and this isn't technically going to work, but I do always say that I will be open and receptive to suggestions. Okay, so that's not going to work. This will, but that I think is going to be just one block too high. No. It doesn't have to be a bad thing because this is the lowest aquifer, I think. I just need this not to be buried underneath badwater. So, if this is going to be 5 blocks wide, 5 is a little bit wider, 1 block to be exact, than 2 water wheels would be. So I was thinking maybe that's not a great idea. But, again, there's no rule that says the dog can't play basketball, and we don't have to have this be super hyper optimized. So we have a couple of options. We can either, for the full output here, we can widen this to 6 and put 3 wide, or just keep it 5 wide and just have one that doesn't match up. I think that's going to be the better thing to do. So, if I can click the correct button here. That is what I'm going to do. I know we still have... yeah, still have something here. These on the very end are probably going to have to just stay like that. We don't have a way for these guys to get down there, so that's not a problem. I think this is a splendid idea. So why don't we just pop in a whole bunch of these. Also, we have so many logs. Just ridiculous quantities of logs. If I just put this in like this, I can put one more, and then this could actually get slightly taller to accommodate this. Shouldn't be an issue. Then we would just need to have a power shaft running to some location that requires power, which, hey, guess what? This does. See, I told you everything's going to work out just fine. Just pop this in right here. And then we pop that in right there. And then to get across here, we are going to have this covered with the what do you call it? The overhangs. That's not a big deal. All I've got to do at this point is... wait, did I count? I did. These actually need to be doubles. Unless we want to have a pathway in here. I don't think we're going to need one, so... see, this is why I keep the game paused while I do this, because I easily get distracted and bad things can happen when you are distracted. Okay, so to get across here, I can either do a single 5x all the way down here, which probably is going to be the better way to do it, and then just raise this up one more block. Is it necessary to have this put in as dirt? No. Am I going to do it anyway? You better believe it. So that, I think, makes the most sense. We'll just have this be the 5x here. Nice and simple. All the way. And then that can very easily have the impermeable floor on top. All the way, once again. And that is going to get us, folks, just about where we want to go. And I'm going to want to do the same kind of thing here, because remember, this is going to be separated. We already talked about the offspring last episode, so that is just going to fit real nice like this. It doesn't really matter if there's contamination on the bottom of this, because we're not planting anything. It's just going to be clean water that is not going to be contaminated just because the ground's contaminated. So I think all I need to do now is figure out where I was going to put my little grotto, which, you know, we can do at any point in time. We can just punch a hole through and it won't be a big deal. But since we're still here, and the game is still paused, why don't we commit right now to putting that in a place that makes sense? And we want it to be probably at the very bottom level, which currently doesn't really have anything going for it. I wanted it to be kind of near this thing so we could have some way to get underground. Yeah, I probably do want it to be at the very bottom. So I want it to match this level here, which is level 2. We already have this, but remember, we're trying to keep it behind here. So why don't we, if we just go right here in the middle, is that going to line up nicely? It would be okay. And I also am trying to not have these guys down here, but they actually can't access that. Alright, I'm overcomplicating this. It doesn't need to be this hard. Let's make this a double here. Let's make this the priority. I'm going to blast this out. And then, see, that's a 4-piece. They should be able to put this in. Yeah, I'm going to pop this in as well. I'm going to blast this down. One, because we have to have a fill valve, and that has to have somewhere to go, and I don't want to send a beaver down here quite yet. So we'll just do this one piece at a time. Okay, for kaboom. And then, same deal here, as soon as they get that finished up, we'll let this be what it's got to be. And then I'm feeling a time lapse come on, but we do have to get to that point first. I think they should still be able to reach this. But we'll put this in and then I'll bury it. We just want to make sure we have a nice clean place on the backside so that when we get to it later, we don't have to worry about the beavers getting contaminated. So come on down. Alright, K for kaboom. And we'll just put our fill valve right here in the very bottom. I'm going to have that set to target height of 0, which in theory should prevent anything from coming through. I guess I needed to make this a priority construction here, which they're not going to do at the end of the day, but we can just let them do what they got to do. Is this excessive? Yeah, probably. Is it cool? Yes. So, that answers your question about why we do this. That's exactly what it is. Alright, they're going to take care of that. We do need the backside of this to kind of come back into here, but this is also going to have to get finished. And we will... we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. So, what we're going to do now is I'm going to have this start being time-lapsed. And we have plenty of beavers who can be builders, we have beavers who can be haulers, we have beavers who can do none of those things because they are injured. But we do have enough warm bodies, theoretically, when everyone is not injured or being a child, to take care of most of our needs and get stuff popped in here. And we'll see how long it takes him to get that done and move right along to everything else we've been trying to do. Hopefully get this badwater sewer finished up this episode, or at least somewhat functioning, and then work on, in the future, putting in the aquifers on top so we can have the nice clean water, and we can pump out of that, we can farm out of that, we can have it spilling over the, well, the spillway, and just enjoy conquering this part of the map. So we're going to let them do what they got to do, and I'll talk to you in just a moment. Alright, so we have a bad tide coming in, and this initial construction area is actually complete, and I have no idea how much power this is making. I'm going to guess, hopefully more than what's going on in here, because it's more of these things here. Oh. Well, that's not great. Oh well. It's something, and that's what matters. So, we can keep extending this way if we feel so inclined. I think I can do... Is that going to actually line up perfectly? Let's find out. Because I know that has to go there. They can't reach that. Okay, not perfectly. But it will be good enough. So now I've got to figure out how to do this without anybody getting exploded here. So why don't we just do this. If I start building more of this kind of stuff, I don't think it's going to be an issue. I'm going to zoom out so I can actually hear myself think. Tends to be kind of a common theme here, huh? So that's got to have power shaft there. And if that's going to be all we have going on here, this is going to be completely sealed up. I believe I can have power shafting go up through impermeable floors. I am not 100% sure about that, though. Well, we're going to find out. Hold on. Okay, this is actually... That's actually a problem, because this, I think there might be... No? Okay, because I thought I had, I thought I had set this up where they couldn't... Okay, good. Good. I just need to get this laid out so I can actually, you know, move on with my life here. That would cover that all the way up. I can't put any of these wheels in until the rest of this is popped out. This would need to be exploded. For good measure, I'll just... Yeah. I'll just take this one out, and then we can actually, since this is going to be completely covered up anyhow, we can just have this be terrain. The main reason that this is impermeable floors and not terrain is because this allows me to have one more block of height over the wheels. That's basically it. But I do need to have this in place. They're not going to be able to do anything from this side until this is put in place, but they can still get over here. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Yeah, see, that'll go there. They can actually do a surprising amount of this without having to come back out here. Okay. See, I surprise myself sometimes with some of this stuff. I think I've got this lined up exactly perfectly where I'm not going to have to worry about anything flooding out. Okay, for boom. This doesn't need to be here. Then that, if we come all the way down. I promise we're going to do more stuff in this episode besides just this. But we do have to do this first. Since this is not really anything worth messing with here, we know that eventually this is going to all be coming down here anyway, but I don't want to have this completely blocked off until that is a viable strategy. So, to come all the way over here, this is where this is going. Part of it's going out. In fact, a lot of it's going out, coming through here. This is not connected because I was waiting for a drought to do that. That is not going to change. But I think I should have enough throughput to get all of this down here. We already have that taken care of. This has to be blasted out. Yeah, and I just can't connect this until we have all the beavers actually able to do stuff without dying. Well, it's not going to kill them. It's just going to be, you know, really annoying. Yeah, we're just going to have to let it be what it's going to be. So let's take a look at what is happening over here. We're making some nice progress on a lot of the storage. Things have gradually improved for most of it. Wheat is kind of still an issue, but also not really. Now I think it's just we don't have enough production for the amount of beavers that we have, because that has continually grown a little bit. And like I said, we're gonna take care of this eventually. It's gonna get better. Trees are being cut down, kind of slowly, but they are being cut down. Progress is being made here pretty well. Don't have anything to complain about with that. At some point soon, like I was saying, I do want to extend this up one more level. Which I suppose if we were bored, we could just, you know, start doing. They can't actually access all of this, so I'm probably free to just go ahead and pop that in place. And as long as they don't silly-billy themselves, which the beavers have been known to do, then I could probably put this in. Tell you what. Let's make this the absolute priority so they can't actually walk on top of anything. Just get this all fixed up right quick so we can let them do all the rest of this all by themselves. There we go. There we go. Problem solved. So that's going to help. This can get sealed off. I was always going to do this anyway. And this is all fine. This is all fine. We don't have a lot of treated planks because I need to increase treated plank production, but I hadn't been doing that yet because I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Well, I think it's about that time. We also don't have pine resin readily. Do I really not have a storage for pine resin over here? You know, yeah. There's a lot of things that could be said. But I will spare you. So, that should help just a little bit. I know I could have planks over here. I might as well just have this on permanently. I know it's not automated, but they need to be making something here. This forester, pine resin wise, I don't think we need to add anything else. This could just be paused. I know we're probably going to want to plant more trees. Maybe at some point. Why have I not... Why not? Okay, that's why, because there wasn't range for it. Alright, it's alright. It doesn't really matter. Okay, they got that done. That's progress. We'll get there. If I have to have bad tide, so before that starts, 4747 out of this water wheel, the whole thing. And it's gone down because we've got a bunch going off the back here. And everything else has been diverted, so I don't know. I honestly don't know what I was expecting to happen there. Ugh, it's fine. It's fine. We don't need to worry about it. We don't need to worry about it. We just need to keep on keeping on. Let's put that in place. Yeah, it's fine. 5x1 there. So now what's going to have to happen is this is going to need to be... that's going to be all the way wide out here. I just have to have some sort of dirt that's going to keep this in place. That's only going to let me get out to there. I guess I can't hang off of that now. Well, what I can do, and what I need to do, is I need to get power out of here. So that could be another single. Yeah, let's do that. Just so I can have this actually set up correctly. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this without it being a complete joke. Paper kaboom. I know I need to have this come down. I'm going to bury it so it's not a problem. This is so loud I have to move my camera out again. Just so I can have this all completely taken care of here. That, and that can all be boxed in, not bloxed in. What in the world is that? Let's make this a priority here so I can actually get to the rest of it. And then I'm like 90% sure I can just put a, what do you call it, on top of this? The impermeable floors. B for boom, and by B I mean K. No, this is not sponsored by Burger King, nor should it be. There we go. So, I think, you know, there's no real reason to be this paranoid, but I can pop another one of those in there. And again, I'm pretty sure this is going to allow me to do whatever I want with this. But I do need them to actually build it, so let's get that prioritized. And I suppose we will see if this has a vertical power shaft coming out of it. Not gonna let me click, are you? No? Okay, there it is. Just have to have that finished. And if it has a power reading, then we are good to go. And it does. Love to see it. Let's get this popped in. Come on. Let's get this popped in here. And then, yes, it is going to... Well, actually, it's a bad tide, so it probably won't. Unless it's going to... See, I haven't played with these in a long time. I know the original behavior has changed a couple of times. But I don't think it's going to be... I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. I just need them to have that done. I need them to, you know, get to a drought so I can actually finish this. Because I said this episode we're going to finish it, and I've been recording a lot longer than I've wanted to, and we haven't gotten that much done. Yeah, see, this is still gushing out here quite severely, I might add. This lever does not need to be here any... Spring return? Is that new? That's useful. I don't remember that being there. And it probably has been, in all honesty. But I guess we'll just leave that alone. Someone's going to have to go pick up all those pieces because I have that set up that way now. Alright, okay, so that's done. This isn't putting anything out because it doesn't have any, why does it say zero power input? It should still be inputting power. It's directly connected. Oh, I don't do enough with this part of the game, and now I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. They need to be able to get on top of this. They can do that from that side. That's fine. I'll just start, I guess, having this come over this way. No real reason we can't. I just need this to be separated somehow. Without being, you know, an instant huge problem. I just need to bury this thing. I really need a drought is what I need. That's fine. Anything else worth checking out? This is not going to be filled up for a while. Oh, I didn't build another... Okay. Yeah, remember when I said I was going to do this and then I didn't do it? Okay, so supply is 400. It's only taking 200. That's that. I know this is not... it's not necessarily as close as... Oh, really? Who's the genius that did this? I'm just gonna... I know this is really stupid. I'm just gonna put this over here because I can. And, you know... That's the way it's gonna be. Okay, we're still working on that. What else can I reasonably do? I know I have this. And that is... Okay, that's our little area there. So why don't we decide to do our little badwater pumping gallery? I think I said, what was I going to need? 4? So I probably should plan for a lot more than 4, which means I'll need to have 5 wide plus space for pathing. So if I did this... So that would give me 4 right there. That would give me 6. That would give me space for 8. Remember, this is the bottom level, so we're creating a little bit of a reservoir there. And that goes out there. That would give me space for 8, just the pumps. Actually, no, it would not. This would give me space for 8 because I can't put the straw on the same thing as that. Alright, so that gives me 8. And then I need on this next level... Or however tall I want to make it. I also don't want to bust through the ceiling here. I think this is about as good as I'm going to be able to get it. I do need... Like, I can also put in additional... You know... Stuff here. That can help. Yeah, I just have to make sure whatever holes I'm making... That I'm not making too big of a hole. Sage advice, I know. Please try to contain your applause. Okay, that can't be tunneled out because it's not actually got anything above it, but it will. You know what I should have checked is what's the height requirement above one of these. Let's go to somewhere we can't actually reach. Okay, bad water pump here. Now, above this... Now, if this game is really awesome, it's going to be... No? Okay. So it looks like it's 3. Alright, well... That's fine, I suppose. So that would give me... Got 1 here, 2 here, 3 here. So that's actually fine, which means this middle one... Not this one. This middle one is the one I need to blast out to have a pathway. How else? Around the outside. And then that's going to connect around this outside. Then the entrance has to go somewhere, which... Seeing how this is set up here, one might think, oh, well, you can just have this come through the middle here. But I suppose... I can't build through this. I'm going to have to build around it, because I don't want them to get poisoned. So, if I have this tunnel come out here... This is actually the same level that I'm building on. So... We'll just make a little badwater highway. Why not? Just have this come straight around. Actually, that's kind of an excessively long path, isn't it? Well, I never said this was going to make sense. I just said it was going to be done. So, let's do that. That shouldn't cause any problems here. Which means that's going to cause this to be moved. That's already empty for extract. I'll tell you what. Let's change this to badwater. And we empty that. That should help, and then I can get this thing out of here. Then we can babysit the most ridiculous, stupid way of doing this possible. Then move on with our lives. Gotta keep people entertained somehow. Let's give that there. I really want to get these guys in here. It doesn't sound... Look how nice and clean this is. Isn't that lovely? Don't you just love to see it? I love to see it. Okay, I think I can get... Yeah, if I come in here... There's no real reason to do this way, except for I thought it might be kind of fun to match the heights there. Also, it helps us if we have to put something else in. That's going to get that closed up. This here no longer has to be anything but a... I don't know where I was going with the rest of that sentence. That's fine. Alright, that's just waiting. I can continue filling this in to a certain degree. I can't really... Yeah, I can't get to this part of it. That's fine, we'll just do that. Since we have basically nothing else to go off of, I'll just have this path go all the way down. I know there's already one here, it's fine. It's just going to help them build this a little bit quicker. And we're starting... There we go. Let them take care of that. So yeah, I'll tell you what. It's time-lapse time again, folks. We're going to get this tunneled out. If we do happen to get a drought, then of course we'll come out of the time-lapse and we'll do a little bit more work in getting this badwater sewer set up. Because I really want to make sure this is done as soon as I can, so we can move on to some other things. And the remainder of these, I guess we'll say, asynchronously recorded episodes, relative to when you guys normally comment on things. But we should be back to normal pretty soon. By the time you see this episode, at least. Maybe within the next week and a half. We'll see what happens. We'll let these guys do what they gotta do. We'll see if we get a favorable RNG on whether we get a drought or a bad tide. And I'll talk to you in just a moment. Alright, so obviously this time-lapse is taking quite a while. But I came up with an idea that I thought was kind of fun while I was sitting here waiting for them to blast out all of these tunnels. And that was, what if we put a zipline through here? And then I had to figure out exactly how that was going to happen. So, yeah, I've got them working on a solution. We're going to have to test it. We did get a drought warning. So, by the next time you hear me saying something that isn't in a time-lapse, we'll be in the drought. We'll have to turn our attention to finally sealing up everything else on the back side of the map. But after that's done, friends, we're going to try our best to put a zip line through here, because why not? I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay, so now we're in an 8-day drought. I wanted to kind of expand upon the whole put a zip line through the tunnel thing. We've done that before in, I believe it was Series 25, the last zip line adventure with the Folktales faction. But this cavern here, when it's fully blasted out, is going to have paths going across here. I guess I could actually go ahead and put these in the spaces that are available. And then these beavers are going to eventually come out onto this tile, which I have not blasted out. But I thought that since this is going to be right here, we've got basically a 2x3 by, I think they're 4 blocks tall for clearance, zipline station. If I had the door to the zipline station on this level, which means we'd have one more above here, and then we'd have 2 more, which includes this, and then one above that, or one below. And then we could have the we'd have the zipline station have a staircase or something, spiral or whatever, to come up through that way. Then about this height, maybe the next level up, depending on how this ends up having to shake out, you can just have a zipline go straight through. As long as it's not on an angle and there's no incline or decline, you can put a zipline through a one-wide tunnel. Unless they change that, in which case I'm going to look like an idiot, but that's fine. So I did start putting in tunnels. I kind of slightly misjudged how this was how this is kind of set up. So I am going to have them take care of that, but because we have other stuff to do, I'm going to deprioritize the rest of this. There's actually not that much left here. I guess I could just let them finish that out. But the main thing that we need to be doing is, after all of this badwater drains out, which hopefully is not too much longer, this is going to be fair game, folks, and we can get this blasted open, which means this will fill up, flow through here, flow into this area, and then once this is all done, comes straight out here. But the beavers have to be able to get into this. And for that to be a thing, I've got to reconnect this. Yes, I know I should use gates. No, I'm not going to, because I'm probably going to mess it up while I'm recording a video. But I need them to come in here. And above all else, I need them to blast out all of this. And then on the level below, we've got some here. And then all of this. Once that's done, because all this dynamite's in place. Once that's done, I don't need to send them back down there ever again. But this absolutely has to be done first. And depending on how adventurous we choose to get, this I don't think is going to be an issue by the time they come over here. So I'm going to get these prioritized. I'm going to get these unpaused. And I'm going to have them take care of this, because if there's nothing behind it that's going to cause a problem, I can always put in a fill valve, or a throttling valve would be the thing to use in this case. And see, now it's gone. I can put a throttling valve basically anywhere I need to and not have it be a problem, but I do have to have this gone. We can patch this back up at a later point in time. But now I do kind of realize that I should have had them do this one first instead of super prioritizing every single piece of stuff here. So let's hit the brakes a little bit, and then you know, have them come over here where they are much more needed. Yeah, just to come and grab this. So we'll get that on triple speed. I mean, it's an 8-day route. We'll have time, and I think we are going to be in fantastic shape. Just have to be able to do what we have to be able to do. Yeah, it was always going to take a while because this is so far away. But now that we've broken through... Now, speaking of a high school musical, that stuff never leaves your head, man. Never, ever, ever leaves your head. 0 cubic meters per second. We'll go ahead and pop those in there. And that way it keeps us safe if we ever have to, you know, stop doing this because we ran out of time. We don't have to worry about it quite so much. This honestly should be a maximum priority thing. And then these don't matter quite as much because they're not load bearing anymore. But I do need this, I do need this, and I do need this, and I need the pathway to be able to reach all the way in there. Okay, and then they decided to do this anyway because they couldn't reach the other ones. That's on me. But once this one is taken care of, then I do have to replace it with a throttling valve. Well, I mean, I don't have to, but if I want to keep the beavers from getting infected, then I do. So we'll just stay here monitoring this for a little while longer until I can be sure that this throttling valve is going to be in place and actually work. And then we'll go back to taking care of the rest. And then, I don't know, we might not have time to actually put the zipline in this episode. That might have to be pushed to the next one. But we're going to see. We're going to see. There's, once again, no rule that says the dog can't play basketball. But I'll leave them to their own devices. And by their own devices, I mean my devices that I told them to do. And we're going to come back over here. We've got plenty for them to do in the next 6.4 days. Looks like this is just about done. Minus this that I, told them not to really worry about that much. We might, depending on how this goes, we might actually run out of dynamite. I don't actually know. It could be kind of close. We won't have any power right now because there's no bad water flowing through, which, that's one of those things that these throttling valves were supposed to help prevent. But the thing's not set up yet. So, we can't really do too much about that. Moving right along over to here. Oh, good. These mud baths are done. Mud pit, I'm sorry. They can be used. We got stuff coming in here. Despite what it might look like with some of these things not even being present at all, the overall amount of food has gone up by, like, what, 50% this episode? Just from filling up some of these. So, you know, that's good progress. We've got more of these trees cut down. We've got more of these trees cut down. These blueberry bushes I'm not really worried about, but I do want to cut down all of the oak trees. We are reaching kind of the end of our path area here. So I'm going to extend the path. And then because we have so many extra beavers, why not? Let's put in a whole bunch of these guys. Let them cut down all the trees, because we really don't need any more trees over here. We already have that taken care of. I could, if I really felt like it, move this just a tiny bit, so that this could become the new hotness over here. Ooh, I like this idea. See, this is a much more appealing setup. If I were to just blast that, then I could bypass the whole thing altogether. Now, I'm not going to prioritize this because I'm not stupid. At least not that dumb. I do recognize that we have this project over here that, thankfully, is safely sealed off. And now we're just waiting on all of this stuff to get done. They're actually making some good progress. I'm kind of surprised. We have a path here that can allow them to get basically anywhere they have to go. Considering that this is no longer a problem, I'm going to cave for Kaboom. I may live to regret this. I just want to watch the patterns here to see if anybody walks on top of this. Well, it doesn't look like it, which means as soon as I hit K for Kaboom, they're all going to just dive in there like a whole bunch of... well, actually, the lemmings off a cliff thing was kind of disproven as a stunt that... Anyway. K for Kaboom. So that is actually going to be really, really helpful. Now I can put in all of this... I actually didn't want that to be that. I wanted that to be that way. Yeah, I can put all of this in on top. I'm pretty sure that was the level that was supposed to go. Yes, okay. That has to go there. Okay, that's gonna be kind of a hard thing to... Okay, well, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. I just need them to, you know, do something. They can always fill it in later. So this, if this is all that's left, we are in a very good spot, folks. Very good spot. This, of course, is not a big priority, but I do need to have that blown up so that we can actually move on. I think we're going to be okay. I think we will be just fine, especially if this is what's left. Now, this does mean I'm going to have to revoke access to this tunnel, which, you know, that's not going to be very hard. We just have to, you know, actually do it, and it not be a whole thing. I probably should just extend this all the way down here. Well, we'll see what happens. Again, I'm not really worried about it. We got 4 days left in the drought. This is waiting on something. I think that's going to be fine. This is currently set to 0 meters, so we can have the beavers in here and it not be a problem. This is also more than 6 blocks across, so we will need to leave the supports in on this level, but the ones in the middle can all be safely removed. Pretty sure, yeah. So if I get rid of... No, I want to get rid of that. I want to get rid of that, which, again, is completely safe. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And then that's going to allow me to pretty much get this totally done. And then, remember how I was going to put the, what do you call it here? This is actually slightly off. Slightly off. So if I, okay, I should have thought a little bit harder about this. If I actually want to put in a zipline station, I can't really show you exactly where it would go because the game won't actually let me do it. But it basically has to go on this tile here, and this has to empty directly onto this path, which is charitably speaking, not going to work unless we raise quite a lot of height here. This will not fit in the 3 tall. You know, I did say it was 4 tall. So, yeah, see that? Even if it was on the bottom, this is kind of a non-starter, isn't it? Well, you know, as dumb as this sounds, I really want this to happen, so I'm probably going to end up. Yeah, I know. Wait, why doesn't? Oh, okay, no. We don't want that. We absolutely don't want that. See, this is why you guys, you know, you got to keep me in check. See, this is what, the 3rd episode now I've recorded without audience input. No one's been around to check me before I wreck myself. Is that how that goes? Oh, I could actually lower this. Yeah. Alright, well, I might have to abandon this idea. I know you heard it here first. It's... Yeah. Well, at least this is done. So I can now caper kaboom. I can caper. No, I almost made a bad mistake. Oh no. Oh no. Now I can do this. Alright, and you know, normally you wouldn't do this, but I need to have them come in here to actually finish putting all of this land in. And I need to have them accessible from on top. I just don't want to get anybody stuck over here. Because you know what happens is this these guys just refuse to, you know, move or do anything else. Hopefully it's not a problem. So I will have to, like I said, continue monitoring the situation. And we'll just go from there. But now that this is all on this side, all ready to go, all we have to do is... Yeah, there we go. Turn this on, and over here, turn this on, and this should be decently good to go. I'm not going to turn it on this episode, though, because I feel like that's asking for way too much. I just need this to, you know, function to some basic degree. So we're going to pop in the remainder of all of these pieces of terrain here. I think probably the smartest thing to do would be to pop this piece in first before anybody gets silly-billied, and then they can build all of the stuff behind them and it not be a problem. I think that's already got... No, they did absolutely nothing. That's... Well, it's fine. Even if it's not. I had it prioritized, so it's okay. That's going to block that off. I don't think I need another piece of dirt. There's no gap there. We've already kind of established that. There we go. That's done. Alright. I know I can do that. I just have this and this sealing this up. There shouldn't be much of a reason to send these beavers down in here. So... I don't want to get rid of the scaffolding just in case I have to expand this later, but I think we can safely say we don't need this anymore. And I can definitely get the terrain blocks put in place to block it completely off. And then we'll be in good shape for the beginning of Cycle 31 to actually, you know, let this thing loose and see what we can get done. Of course, this is still going to be filled in that time. That doesn't need to go there. So let's prioritize this, this, and this, just so we can have the sides all done. I don't think we're going to have any overflow, and if we do, we know we have to make the tunnels bigger. I've been recording this episode for a while. My brain's starting to get fried. But at any rate, we're going to let them take care of that. We're going to do our end-of-episode fun stuff. As always, I appreciate you guys watching this series. I appreciate your feedback, even if I'm not going to be able to read your comments until after I record the next couple of episodes. I do always appreciate feedback, so again, let me know, do you like these ideas? Do you think they're stupid? Do you think I'm dumb? Yeah, that's always allowed. Might hurt my feelings a little bit, but, you know, I need the honest feedback. That's how we do everything here. So, you see the names on the screen, the Beard Booster folks. You're probably sick of me saying it by now, but I'm not going to stop because those folks subsidize the channel, make it so we don't have to have sponsors, don't have to do any of that nonsense. We just have fun playing with beavers on the internet and enjoying the process of playing the game without too much distraction beyond what I just provide all by myself. But we're out of time for this one. We're going to catch you in the next episode with the start of Cycle 31, and we're going to see how this thing holds up. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.